record on this computer. So welcome everyone to our CCNP ENARSI class. My name is Kelly Caudle, and I'm going to be your instructor for this class. We are going to have some fun in this class because this class is very deep. It is also a large number of labs, large number of assignments. If you are coming directly into this class from my CCNP Encore, I think it's a little less work than Encore, but it is still a lot of work. The good news is it does count as a class that will let you renew your CCNA and other certifications via what is called the continuing education credits, and I will show you that in just a minute. I'll show you how that works. But this course will allow you to get up to, I believe this one is 48 hours or 40 credits. Yeah, 40 credits. Your CCNP Encore was 64 credits. I'll walk you through that in just a minute. I'll show you what I'm talking about with that. Before we get started, though, I do want to share my screen. And let's see, screen one. Everybody tell me they can see the CCNP ENRSI for me. And you are welcome to come off mute. You can talk, folks. I do actually encourage interaction, because otherwise we're going to have some very boring class meetings. It's very difficult to just talk to the screen myself. So, but my name is Kelly Caudle. I am the lead instructor at Stanley Community College. I've been here 27 years now, coming up on 27 at the end of June. So kind of toward the end of my career as a full-time employee anyway. But I am our lead instructor for our instructor training center. I'm also the lead of the Academy Support Center. So that's my two primary jobs. My other job is this thing here, the IT Academy, which is in the online area of our school that teaches things like VMware, Networking Academy, Palo Alto, AWS, all of those certification granting organizations for people who are already in IT looking to get certification. So I wear a lot of hats at Stanley. I've been there a long time, and I've been part of the Cisco Academy now for over 25 years. So I've been there a very, very long time. I wish I could be at the celebration for the Cisco meeting this coming month in California. However, the week that they are holding the Cisco meeting is the same week as National Skills USA. And my team has been a group of national judges for 18 years now. And we just cannot leave that contest and not, basically it wouldn't take place if we didn't go. We take all the equipment, we set all the equipment up. I write the national hands-on test. So if we don't go, that contest doesn't go, or it would be very difficult. And I'm not willing to do that to the students who have worked so hard to get to that point. So if you are going to California in June, if you're going to Cisco Live, great. I usually go to Cisco Live next week, but unfortunately I gave away so many free classes this past year that I got my budget down to the lowest it's been in probably 10 years before we start our next round of getting more money in. So just couldn't afford it. And so we are at this point just kind of holding our own until next year, and hopefully we'll be able to go back to Cisco Live next year. That's our goal anyway. This course has 3 different areas you're going to use, but the one, actually I can get rid of this because that's not true for this class. This course is a little different than any other class you've had with our Cisco Instructor Training Center, unless you've had my CCNP Encore class. And that is because the actual materials inside of NetAcad for CCNP is almost nothing. There's tests, there's labs, that's it. There's nothing else. There's no content inside there. You do have the PowerPoints. I'll show you those, but there are no modules you read or anything like that inside of NetAcad. I'll talk about what you read here in a minute. So I built this class in Canvas. I built out the entire class in Canvas so that we can very easily upload assignments and have a modern LMS to work in. I love Cisco. I love the Cisco Academy. When they went to Moodle as the back end for the LMS, that was their worst mistake in a long time. I do not like the LMS now, and I use it in my other instructor training classes because that's where the content's at, and that's what the instructors need to learn. But when we teach students, we use our local LMS, which is Canvas. For you in this class, I'm going to use Canvas. All of you have now done the intro assignment, so I can basically tell you not to worry about that. I've sent everyone who needed a seat token and instructions on how to use it so that they can get into our NetAcad class, and I believe almost everyone's in except for one gentleman. And I'll go over some other things in here, but this will be our primary site for class. This is where we will upload our documents. This is where I have the actual documents for you to use. I've already converted into Word files, Word documents. So when you do your labs, you can upload those. I will get the packet tracers in here too, but we're going to focus on just regular labs using NetLabs. So this will be our primary point of interaction. You've already done, you've already done your intro assignment, so that's great. Otherwise, we will continue to come to canvas.stanley.edu for almost everything in the course that we do. Now, we will be going to this site here. You won't be using your seat token because we have we don't have a need for it because I've already done that. You also will not use this as the primary site, but it is the primary academy site. And the reason that we even use it at all is because inside of here is where the module exams are. Now, there are also practice quizzes. I'm not requiring these quizzes, but if you want to take the quizzes, you can take them and they will give you at least a brief quiz to let you get ready for the chapter test. You will be required to take the module exams. I'll show you the syllabus here in a second. These module exams are required, as is the final written exam, which is down here in the course feedback. But you will notice the other items in here, there are no chapters to read, okay? So if you're planning on teaching this to your students, there's no content inside of NetAcad at all. All the content is in the book, and I'll show you that book in just a minute. We've also got some other things that we can use that are free to you that I will introduce to you in just a moment. But those are two of our sites. Our final site we will be using as part of this class is netlabs.stanley.edu. Now, this is our NetLab Plus system. It is where Real Gear is located. Now, the passwords are not synced to Stanley, so when I give you your account and say your initial password is Cisco123, whatever you change it to, that's your password. If you forget your password, email me and I will reset it on NetLabs. I don't reset your password on Canvas. That's our campus IT team. But this site is where we can do real labs with real gear. Now, I got tickled today because I actually had a student doing a lab earlier today. Kind of trying to remember who it was. It's Julie. I think Julie was doing a lab earlier today already, was playing around. So, but if you've never used NetLabs, I will send out a video to show you how to use it if you've never used it. But it's really very simple. You log in and you click New Lab Reservation, Schedule Lab for myself. Now, you're not going to see 10,000 different classes like I see. You're going to literally see maybe one or two classes. If you were in my CCNP Encore class, I did not delete you from that class, and I'm not going to turn that class off right now. The reason being, if you were in Encore and you wanted to do those labs, I wanted you to still have the ability to go back and do those labs. If any of you in this class want to be able to go back and do the Encore labs, or at least work on some of the Encore labs, let me know and I will actually add you into that course also. So just email me and say, yes, Kelly, I would also like to be in the Encore. I'm not going to blanket add everybody in there because it can cause confusion. But you are in the class KFC NARSI SU23. Now, KFC is my initials. So I put KFC in front so I can very easily sort and find all my classes. But if you click on the class, you're going to see this listing. One is the group of all labs that will be available to you. And then the two skills assessments that we will do at the end of class. You will do one of these two. If you click on the top item, you'll see all the labs that are available. You also notice there are a bunch of labs in this class. Some of the labs are designed for you to actually load some configs, some pre-done configurations. They're actually going to be loaded into Flash, and then you copy them out of Flash, and you then troubleshoot, because one of the key items we will learn in this course, and here I put the exam objectives, many of these things are troubleshoot, okay? So troubleshoot administrative distance, troubleshoot route maps, troubleshoot loop prevention, troubleshoot, et cetera, et cetera. So many of these are like the old T-shoot exam. If you've been a CCNP for a long, long time, it used to be we had routing, we had switching, we had then we had troubleshooting, T-shoot. So some of that T-shoot stuff has actually moved down into this ENARSI. Some of it is not. Some of it is actual configuration. So we're gonna have to learn how to do a dynamic multi-point VPN with a single hub. But a lot of it's troubleshooting. So for those troubleshooting labs inside of NetLabs, the way it works is, by the way, there are 3 pods available. That's all we have. I'm sorry, but it actually takes a large amount of equipment to do a CCNP pod, and these classes tend to be a little smaller. This class is 12 people, and we usually can support 25 people on 5 to 7 pods. So I feel fairly comfortable with 12. So once I've done my reservation, it's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes for all the equipment to boot up. So I do my reservation and I just let it sit here for 5 to 10 minutes. If you enter the lab ahead of time, it's okay. But what you will see is you'll actually see the devices booting, they're being scrubbed, they're being prepared for the lab itself. All right. You also notice inside of the lab, the content tab shows you the content for the lab. Now, I have actually gone in on our class and I've created for you and given you a zip file that has all the NetLabs documents already changed into Word documents. So if you download this document or download this file, inside of it are every one of the NetLabs documents from the content tab already converted to a Word document. Now that is important because when you do a lab for me, you're going to do the lab, you're going to open this document up and use this document as your guide. Okay, so enable editing. And a couple things here. First off, you'll notice, very, very important, when you can put an IP address on the PCs, do not put it on the Ethernet interface. Put it on the Ethernet bridge interface. That's totally different than you've ever done on any PC. I'll show it to you in a second. But you also see here as you go down through, it tells you exactly what to do. PC1 is enabled to access the resources on this web server. Use the commands below to load the config files. This lets you load the configuration files on the devices that are broken, and then it allows you to go in there and fix it. All right. Okay. Now, I obviously cannot approve your configs. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to be at the end of part 1, when you complete the token, the trouble ticket 1, you're going to tell me what you fixed here. Okay. So you'll go in here and edit anyway, and you'll go in here and say, the issue was blah, 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 whatever, blah. I expect a little more detail than that. If you don't mind, it would be very helpful for me too if you'd change the color of your text to maybe blue or some other color so I can very easily see it. Then you will go through and do this. Okay, so reset.now, privilege exec command, it'll do it. And then you'll copy new configs. And then you'll do this trouble ticket, put in the answer. Then you'll do this trouble ticket, put in the answer. Okay, so that's how these troubleshooting labs are going to work. I'm not able to check them and then say, okay, now move on, because I know at least one of our students is in Africa. And so we've got a 6-hour time difference. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do that. We've got another one in British Columbia. That's a 3.5 to 4 hour time difference the other way. So when you do these, you're gonna have to do them and then put in what you thought the fix was and go from there. All right. Questions about how these troubleshooting labs work in NetLabs? Also, real quickly, throw in chat. Everybody's put whether or not you've used NetLabs before. Everybody who's here, let me know. So just drop in chat. So Eric has. I know anybody that's been in my classes before has definitely used it. Corey has. Charlene. Nancy, Damon. Okay, good. It looks like everybody's probably used it. If you have not used NetLab Plus before, let me know, and I can work with you one-on-one if I need to. Okay. Bernard, you're in you're overseas, right? You're in Africa, I think. I think it's Bernard. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I thought so. What time is it there? It's 4 here. Is it almost 10:30 there? 10:30 or 11 at night?
10:25 p.m.
It's what time?
It's 10:25 p.m.
PM. Okay. All right. Well, so about a 6 hour difference, which so you're in about the same time zone as Germany is. Okay. Excellent. One thing I will tell you, if you can't make this time slot, I am going to record everything we do and I'll post it onto my YouTube channel so that you can have access to it. So if you find out that staying up super late is hard, let me know. Also, I always record it. I record and post everything. So just be aware of that. Excellent. So it looks like everybody has used NetLabs before. Now, when you get done with that, you're going to save this with your name in front of it. And then you're just going to upload this into the assignment for that particular item. So if you just completed lab 112, you would upload that lab right here. Okay, complete the lab and upload it. Now, because these are troubleshooting, if it's a troubleshooting lab, I don't expect you to put your configs at the end of it because each troubleshooting area is different. If it is one that's just a configuration item, so a different lab, so let's go back and look at one that's a config lab. So if we go in here and do a new lab, remember, for myself, you'll go to your class. You will go in here and you'll click on NARSI V8 PMAP, which, by the way, that's professional map pod. But let's see here, this implement EIGRP for IPv4. You'll see this, instead of being a lab that has trouble tickets on it, it is a lab that has a pre-config that you can copy and paste in. I am working, folks, on having all of those done for you. So if you were in my last class, you will know that I had a, let me go back, I gotta go back to a different area here. I had a, trying to find it where I put it at. May have put it here. No, I gotta find it, but I'll find it. I actually had in the class a set of all of the labs themselves for you. And I had them set up where you didn't have to copy and paste it out. I'm working on that and I will have that dumped in here too. So it'll be called CCNP ENARSI initial lab device config files. So I will have that for you. I've got the first 3 or 4 done. So I'll try to get those up as soon as I possibly can so you'll have them. That way you just don't have to copy and paste from the Word document and clean it up yourself. But on those, when you're doing that lab, if you're doing one that's an actual configuration lab, not a troubleshooting lab, at the very end of the document when you turn it in, just do a copy run from all the devices and dump it into the end of the lab if you don't mind for me, okay? And that'll really help us. This is showing EIGRP using named and legacy global config. So kind of a really, really good lab. So those 3 areas, Canvas will be our main course page. Netacad.com will be where we take our module tests and our practice tests. It will be where we do our final written exam and our course feedback. And then NetLabs is where we do all of our actual hands-on labs. Any questions on those 3 portions of class?
I'm good.
Everybody good? Okay.
Yes, I have a question on the NetLabs. Are you using username or email address?
I'm using your email address. It is your full Stanley email address.
Okay.
And Nancy, if I need to reset your password, just let me know because I know it's been a while since you've been in.
Yes, please reset it. Thank you.
Okay, I will reset it. Let me pull this over here out of the way and I will do that right now. That way.
Thank you.
And I'm going to reset it to Cisco 123. So
Thank you.
let me jump over here real quick to manage classes. All right, I'm going to delete this class right here. Let's go away. And this. Yes, it is your full Stanley email address, Nancy. And I am resetting the password right now. reset it to an initial password, Cisco 123, and then you will need to change it yourself. Okay. Change it to something else. All right.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And just in case for some reason you don't remember that, I'll dump your in a direct message. I just sent you your email address. So that's done. Okay. All right, everybody. I want to now talk a little bit about the syllabus. There's two ways you can look at the syllabus. You can look at our simple syllabus. By the way, down on simple syllabus, this tells you all of the campus and policies. We're starting to switch over to simple syllabus. We have been doing it for some time. But this is where the overall syllabi are for the campus, and it has things like the number for the help desk. It has minimal technical requirements. It has a quick course organization. This is also in your regular syllabus. I'll show you the one that I make a Word document out of. But this is one that also has in it the academic integrity. Don't cheat. Okay. I tell my students, if cheat, you go to hell. So if you're willing to risk your immortal soul, go ahead and cheat. Attendance requirements. Now, I will tell you, as far as I'm concerned, I like for you to be able to make these meetings. If you can't make the meetings, that's fine. I do record them. I'll talk about assignment due dates here in a minute, but I'll put some in here. I respond within 48 hours. Right. And usually, if you've had a class with me, it's normally much less than 48 hours for me to respond to you. If I take 48 hours, it's typically only because either I've been on a break or I'm hurt or something's happened, because I usually respond much, much quicker. So let's look at the syllabi, our syllabus. This is CCNP ENARSI. If you have not had Encore, you are going to be at a huge disadvantage. But be aware, you can still take this course without it. I just do suggest you have been in Encore first, because it does help a lot. Having said that, this still is a huge help for you as a CCNA instructor, because we go into depth on some things that you haven't seen before. The troubleshooting sections are going to be hard on you if you haven't had CCNP Encore. Be upfront with you. It is going to be difficult, but it's not impossible. The book that you need to purchase in order, if you want a book to read, is this book right here, the Official Cert Guide. It is not a cheap book. It is available on Amazon for like 40 bucks, 50 bucks. I think that's what it is. No, it's $68. Ooh, that's expensive. You can always go to Cisco Press and ask for a review copy. We do not have in a special thing called O'Reilly a free version of this book, but I do have something I want to show you here in a minute. Keep these items in mind, because I'm going to show you about O'Reilly Online, which is a database we have that is free for you. And if you don't want to buy this book, you don't want to spend the money, you can use this video course, and you can learn through using this video course. The PowerPoints and everything's based out of the book. And that's what I'm going to be. The chapters are out of the book, but be aware, if you don't want to spend that money, then you don't have to. I actually do suggest buying this book. This book is a lot better than the CCNP Encore book, because it is more focused than the Encore book. The Encore book is all over the place. So it's a good book. We're going to learn a lot of things in this. Everything from DHCP to OSPF v3 to BGP to route redistribution, DMVPNs, prefix lists. There's a ton of stuff in this. Okay. Now, having said that, I want you to look at this section very carefully. This is an instructor trainer class. I understand that you are teaching other classes. I understand it's summer. Okay. So I fully expect you're going to go on vacation sometime during this summer. I am going on vacation sometime during this summer. Okay. So there may be a week when I say, class, we're not having a meeting this week. I plan to meet every Wednesday from 4 to 5. And if we need another day, I'll add another day in. You've got a huge advantage with me this summer, because until the end of the summer, this is the only class I'm teaching, because I've already taken care of my other teaching loads by teaching 2 weeks straight during break. But I've sent you the Zoom link for our Wednesday 4 to 5 meeting. If we find that's not enough, we will keep up. We'll add another meeting day to do labs or something of that nature. you notice there are a ton of labs. Okay. If I go in here and I look at, and put us back over here. If I go in here and look at the number of labs that are inside of this class, it's a bunch. I mean, a bunch. It's more than 25. Okay. What I'm going to ask is that you do at least 25 labs. There's about 37, I believe. Correct. So there's 37 labs. I'm only asking you to do at least 25 of them. You finish 25 and do these other items, I will give you a pass. Okay, you will pass the class. If you want to pass the exam, you better do all of them. Okay. Those of you who are my CCNP Encore class heard me say many, many times, the CCNP Encore exam was the hardest exam I've ever taken. It was hard. I passed the CCIE written exam in 2008. I consider the CCNP Encore test much, much harder than that. So just be aware, ENARSI is easier, a little bit easier, but not much. So we need, if you want to pass it, actually pass the exam, you're going to do every single one of the labs. If you want to pass the class, you only got to do 25 of the labs, your choice. So if you go in here and you say, hey, you know, I've looked at these, I feel very, very confident on IPv4 ACLs or implementing GRE tunnel. I know GRE. Don't do that lab. Do the one on troubleshooting iOS AAA. Okay. Or troubleshooting IP, SLA, and NetFlow. Or let's say I am fully aware of how to do multi-area OSPF. I know everything about it. Well, you could pick a different lab. So you're able to pick the 25 labs you want to do. If you want to do just the first 25, that's fine. Do the first 25. But it's your choice. If you do at least 25, I will pass you. You then also need to do the final exam with a score of 75 or higher. The final exam, skills exam, which is actually one of the other labs that are available on that. It's a skills assessment. So we'll do one or the first or second one. I haven't made my decision yet. Okay. And then the course feedback, you'll have to do that too. But if you do those, I will pass you. You do have to do the chapter exams. If you do all of those, I will pass you for the course. Questions about what is you're required to do? Now, I consider you adults. I'm not going to hound on you. I have put down here for our first week. You know, this is week 1, so starting not really today, but due next week is, and in fact, you'll notice we really have 2 weeks to get all of these done. But next week, I'd like for you to read chapters 1 through 3 in the book or watch the video on the online course of the corresponding chapters. And then complete these labs if you want to do these labs. If you decide these are ones, and I do suggest do the first couple just to get yourself comfortable using the system and how it works. But I'm giving you due dates. This stuff is due on 6/7/23. If you don't have it turned in on 6/7/23, I'm not going to be sending you emails going, Nancy, why don't you have this done right now? That's not how I operate. Okay. I understand if you're like me, if you don't have a due date, you don't do it. All right. It's just a fact. I mean, that's the way I am. So I give you due dates. But if you don't meet the due date, I'm not going to come unglued. If you can meet the due date, you make life a lot easier for me in terms of grading because I can go through and grade everything at one time. So I can look on 6/8, I can grade all these labs and be consistent. But if you don't make it, that's fine. I'm not going to gripe at you. Now, if 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now you've done nothing, I'm probably going to gripe at you. Okay. I'll come and say, hey, are you having problems? Got an issue. I broke the class down as best I could. I will be honest with you. This is my first time teaching ENARSI. Every other time I've tried to teach it, the class is not made. We have not had enough interest in it to run it. So I'm hoping this is a good breakdown. If we find out it's terrible, we'll make adjustments. There's a lot to do, folks. I mean, there's some weeks in here where we've got a lot to do. Okay. The good news is if you don't get all them done of this week, we do have a week. We kind of have a little bit of an easy week. But the problem is that there was no very easy way to break these up in some instances. So we had to kind of keep those portions together so they work. Again, I don't have problems with you missing the due dates, but please do some work. At least try to do some and try to stay caught up. Are there questions on that? So you can see this, if you want to see our due dates, you can see it here in the syllabus. I also have every one of the different items marked in the class as to when they are due. So if you look at Lab 112, you will see that it is due on June 7th. So it's all marked inside of there. It's also on the calendar. If you look at your calendar, you'll see for this class what's due. So any questions on assignments or what is necessary to pass this course? Nope, Eric's good. Everybody good?
I'm good.
Okay. I want to show you now the O'Reilly database. Now there's a video here that you can watch that will walk you through this exact same process. So if for some reason you don't understand, you can use this. I would like everybody that's here to go ahead and open up a web browser and go to www.stanley.edu. Okay, it's our webpage. So everybody go to www.stanley.edu. You can probably just go to stanley.edu, but okay. Once you get here, you need to go to Student Resources, and go down to Library, and click once. That will get you to this page. When you get this page, throw me a thumbs up on the chat here. Just reach over. You can actually click on the little thing here, and you can throw a chat, or you can just put in chat. I'm there. Okay. So go to stanley.edu, go to Student Resources, Library, and that'll take you to this page right here. Once you are here, click on A to Z database list. We then are going to click on O for O'Reilly. Now, if you ever heard of Safari Books or O'Reilly Online, I used to pay $50 a month to get access to this database personally. We have a campus license that as long as you have a Stanley email address, you have access to this database. I'll show you how to log in just a second. Good news is this class ends in August. We don't delete your Stanley email address for 2 semesters past the end of your last class. So by taking this class in the summer, you should have access to the O'Reilly database all the way through May of next year. Again, I used to pay $50 a month just for access to this database. So if you click on it, it'll pop up this, and you need to click on institution not listed. We're too small to be among the California Polytech and all, but I mean, look, CERN is one of the universities. You know what CERN is? They're huge. So click on institution not listed, and then put in your Stanley email address, your full Stanley email address. Now for you, it's going to be something at scc.stanley.edu. So put not listed and then put in your Stanley email address and click Let's Go. And click Got It, and you will be inside of O'Reilly Online. Now, folks, the amazing thing about this system, by the way, if you want to see a really cool, and I mean a cool 1 hour and 24 to 25 minute course on ChatGPT and DALL-E and how they can be used for people like design professionals, that course right there is amazing. And you can grab it and watch it. It's free. Everything inside of here is free. So I have made, once you get in here, you can click on your name and go to playlists. And under that playlist is a CCNP ENARSI playlist. And this is where you will find the exam cram book. You will find the portable command guide that has all the commands in it. And most importantly, you will find this free CCNP video course. Click right here. It will take you into the live lessons course. And this is, they're going over name mode VRF Lite. You'll see that I've only done 1%. And this course is all the objectives for the class are in here. So there's EIGRP, EIGRP V6, OSPF, BGP, so on and so forth, all the way down. Okay. Now the beauty of this course too is instead of the book that has some stuff that's kind of unneeded, this course breaks it down to just what's needed for the exam itself. So if you do not want to buy the book, you could use this. I kind of suggest using both. I don't like to use just one thing. But remember, I went to my name, I clicked on playlists, and then I found the CCNP ENARSI playlist. You'll also notice under those playlists, we have a playlist for CCNP. So if you wanted to go look at the CCNP video course, say you forgot how to do something, you can go look it up. There's also 31 days before your CCNP and CCIE Enterprise Core exam. See if there's a 31 days CCNP ENARSI. I don't think there is one. That's a routing guide. Nope, there's not one, unfortunately. Okay. But notice all these books we have. Let's say for some reason you need to study for Security Plus. Here's a Security Plus video course, completely free, 23 hours. Here's another book, Security Plus, Security Plus. These are all books. You have complete free access to these materials for the next year because you're taking this course. Folks, it's almost worth spending $195 and taking one of our courses just to get access to this CC and the O'Reilly stuff. Okay. We've got all these different playlists here if you want to look into them for some reason. We've got CCNA Study Guide. We've got VMware, ICM, and ONS. We've got DevNet, CyberOps Associate. All of those are there. What's a topic somebody throw a topic in chat you want me to look up? A topic or a certification you want me to look up? Python. Oh God, there's so much Python stuff. Practical Python Basics. Jane, look, that's a video course, by the way. So it's a 3 hour and 49 minute, 15 Cisco SD-WAN. All right, let's look in there. By the way, this Python crash course right here is really good. That's a good one. All right, so let's do Cisco SD-WAN. There you go. There's a class, 22 hour and 12 minute class that was published by Cisco Press in January 2023. So if you want to learn about SD, here you go. You can go and jump right in and start your 22-hour class. Folks, this to me, when our librarian came to us and said, hey, I think we can get this for a campus-wide license, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And so we jumped all over it. So sorry, folks. Everybody know my family cannot remember I have class from 4 to 5 for some reason. So this is a huge bonus for you. So again, you go to Stanley's webpage, student resources, library, A to Z database, O'Reilly, and then you're going to click O'Reilly and say institution not listed. I'm already logged in, so it dumps me in here. Okay. So let's see what that let's see, chat GPT. I want to find that course again, make sure I got it. Got to mark it as oh goodness, where was it at? Might find my thing here. I'll find it later, but either way, that was a really, really good. By the way, I didn't even really know what Dolly was, but it's a generative, there it is, creative thinking. That's it. I got to add that to my own. Create a new playlist, and I'm gonna call it KFC, so it's mine. It's my own personal playlist. I'm gonna make it so done. But that's a really, really good little hour and 35 minute thing to take some time. But okay. So that is our O'Reilly database. Now, this is a video that if for some reason you can't remember how to get in, this video walks you through the process of getting in. Okay, so just be aware, we've got a video if you don't remember how to do it. Questions? All right. Last but not least, I want to talk about what you can get from this class. First off, obviously, we are teaching you the materials needed to go and take and pass the CCNP ENARSI exam. That will renew your, if you pass the exam, that will renew your CCNA, and it will renew any other lower level certifications. If you pass CCNP Encore and you pass CCNP ENARSI, you'll get your CCNP route switch. In addition, Cisco last year did a couple things that were really cool, and that is Cisco allows you to renew your certifications with CE credits or continuing education credits. Now, these are not CEUs issued from Stanley Community College. These are CE credits available by passing certain Networking Academy classes. Now, those classes are these. You'll note, well, first off, if you want to renew your any associate certification, you've got to earn 30 credits. If you want to do any specialist certifications, you need 40 credits. If you're renewing a professional, a complete professional like a CCNP, you need to renew the whole thing. You need to earn 80 credits or pass a professional concentration with 40 credits. And then if any of you are CCIEs, what are you doing in this class? You need to be teaching it, not taking a class from me. But actually CCIEs do have to renew their certification. So be aware that you can earn 120 credits if you got your CCIE. Now, in the Networking Academy, if you take and pass CyberOps Associate and go through this process outlined in this PowerPoint that's in our class, you can earn 30 credits via CyberOps Associate, 40 with DevNet, 64 with Encore. That tells you how hard Encore is. And then 40 for CCNP ENARSI, so this course. You must submit your finalized items for credit no later than 90 days past the end of the course. So those of you who just finished CCNP Encore with me, get this stuff into the continuing education portal. It's really simple. You go to this site, you submit what you did, and then Cisco will validate it. Okay, so it has to match what you took, and you have to tell the start and completion dates. So make sure you look at the start and completion dates, especially those of you who have done CCNP Encore, because I had to push the date back to June for a student or two who are still working. Your CCNA cannot be expired. Correct, Charlene. Yes. If it's already expired, it's too late. Yeah, it's too late. This is only to renew a certification that has not yet expired. That is correct. So if you have a CCNA, and let's say you've got 2 years of it and you've got 1 year left, if you turn in the credits from this course, you can actually renew it for another 3 years. Okay. But if it is already expired, no, you had to actually take and pass the exam. Okay. But that's it. It's that simple. And I know it works because I had one of my instructors who did CyberOps Associate do it. And I think several of you have done it for our CCNP Encore class. Have any of you done it? If you will, come off mute and talk about the process if you've already done it for CCNP Encore. Have any of you tried it yet?
No.
Okay. Well, once you do it, you'll be able to get it. So this is another good thing about this course. Okay. So you will be able to use this course to extend your Cisco certifications. Right now, I know some of you used CML in our last class. Right this minute, I'm not going to open up CML, and there's a reason for that. I told you about Skills USA Nationals. We're going to use the Cisco Modeling Lab system for troubleshooting, the entire troubleshooting portion of our contest. And we're going to be taking that system out of the data center and carrying it with us down to Atlanta. So I don't want that to be something you're using for labs and then I pull it out of the system and it's not there for a week or two. So we're not going to use that right now. As we get further in the class, once we get into July, if you want to play around with Cisco Modeling Lab some, I'll get you an account in it, and we can talk a little bit about that. For now, we're just going to use NetLabs. Okay. So, questions about the format of our class or what we're going to be using for our class? Any questions on our timeline? Again, it's in the syllabus. Both of them, the document that's here, it's in the simple syllabus, and each individual assignment has the date placed on it when it's due. Okay. If there are no questions, what I need you to do for me is to either start reading the class chapters 1 through 3, which is due for next week, or go into O'Reilly and watch the first 3 sections of the course in here, your choice. I would really suggest the book, though. The book is a good thing to get your hands on. But if you can, go ahead and get the book, start reading, and start doing the labs for me. And then next week, we will discuss the first 3 chapters, and we'll discuss any problems you may have had with the labs. And again, here's some packet tracer, these source files for packet tracer. Right now, we're not going to do packet tracers. We're going to do everything on real gear. This is just an additional thing you can use if you want to, but we're going to use real gear. We're not going to use the packet tracers. In fact, I think that doesn't even have the packet tracer PKA files yet. All right. So we're going to use real gear. Any questions? Okay, I'm going to stop my share. And so now I am going to stop recording.